Alright guys, we're ready to mash in on Nick's anniversary beer. Something in a lifetime. I don't know what it's going to be called this time, but we're ready to mash in, so let's do it.
Randy, you're getting grain along the rim, so when you pour, make sure.
Good. You can go a little bit faster.
Brandon, I'm gonna take this would be a sick profile picture for Brandon. Look at me looking out for my boy.
That's right in there.
No, please not.
The nut stout. Nick's nut stout.
No, please, God. Although now that's a great.
That is a good name. I shudder to think how much, just in grain alone, this batch is.
How much is left in that bucket?
Mike's asked like 3 times how much is left in the bucket. Oh, that was a gigantic dough ball.
There it is.
Come
right
on,
there.
Mike.
We're definitely not getting it all.
I got an idea.
I mean,
Drain a little bit of the liquid off to get the rest of the grain in,
and then, yeah.
and then just add it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or use it for the partigyle, too.
Or use it for partigyle. Yeah, because I don't think that's going to fit.
No, it's
I
not
think we're
gonna
going to have to pull like a gallon off.
Yeah.
That's alright.
Stirriness is like...
I bet it's like stirring
Oh my God,
concrete.
it is.
Do you want to take it?
Okay, now that we mashed in on the stout, we're gonna weigh some grains for the Octoberfest. Gonna weigh out 18 pounds of Golden Promise.
So here we have 2 pounds of rye that we're going to be adding to the stout as a partigyle, and we're going to be doing a porter. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull off the first runnings from the stout. The beer is going to be all first runnings. We're going to throw in this rye, and then we're going to throw in more strike water to do our partigyle for the stout. And then this is 18 pounds of Golden Promise for the Octoberfest. Mike is up at his car right now weighing the specialty grains. And once we get going on the porter, we'll pull off of that, we'll dump the grain, we'll throw this grain in, and we'll start mashing in on the Octoberfest. All right, we have the stout mashing in. We are heating the strike water for the partigyle porter, and now we're gonna mill some grain on the collab Octoberfest. This is 18 pounds of Golden Promise, and then here are various specialty grains. They are Mike's recipe, so I will not give away what they are, but just know they are likely very delicious. So let's mill some grain. Or as Brandon would say, time to mill. All right, we're Vorloffing on Mike's system for the Imperial Stout. Again, no sparging, all first runnings. So if Brandon will come down the stairs, I'll show the process. So So we're just, Vorlopping's old school. Brandon and I haven't done this in years. But Mike does, and he gets 80% efficiency doing it, so we're not going to complain. So we're just taking some of the first runnings. We're going to take it in this canister.
Oh, it's cool. F***ing record, man.
I burnt myself getting mad at
This
Brandon.
stuff is like syrup, man.
You do get what you deserve. All right, so now we're going to transfer from the mash tun into the boil kettle. All right, so Mike's over there messing around with the system. First runnings, which is really pre-boil, was 1.089 for a 17% barrel-aged Imperial coffee milk stout. That wasn't gonna cut it for first runnings. So we did some calculations and we decided we felt like the mash tun still had a lot of residual sugar in it. So we took 2 gallons of strike water for the porter and threw it on top of the stout and added 2 more gallons of water into the HLT to make up for it. Took another reading and we were down right around 1.079. So a little bit lower, but the point is the higher we can get the yield, the more we can boil off, and hopefully the higher the gravity goes. We then added another gallon to get it to 9 gallons pre-boil. So we're still boiling, we're boiling away as we're adding the gallons. Mike doesn't really care, he's very Wayfair. He's doing his thing. So I'm letting him, because it's on his system, I'm letting him do his thing while I'm slowly going into panic attack zone. So now what we're gonna do is, all that to say, we have 9 gallons pre-boil. We're gonna start boiling, or continue boiling, on a 90-minute boil, and we're gonna follow our 60-minute hopping routine. And what we're gonna do is, we think, what we didn't account for originally was the 2.5 pounds of milk sugar that we're adding. That's definitely gonna bump up the ABV. Should we have added the 3 gallons of sparge water? Probably not, but we don't really know. We're not gonna know until we're done. And all 3 of us forgot that we were adding milk sugar to the beer. So I'm really excited still. It still smells great. Mike drove all the way down from Pennsylvania and decided he wanted to brew a 7% milk stout. So I guess that's what we're doing. But anyway, we're going to continue on with this brew day. We are very close to starting the porter. And then we'll transfer first runnings on the porter, 8 gallons, into the Robobrew, the Brewzilla. And we will boil on that in the house. And then we're going to start in on the Octoberfest. So let's go.
All right, so here's the thing, right? Nick probably literally just got done bashing me, right? What kind of guy is that? Like, I drove all the way up from Pennsylvania to brew beer with him, and that's the thanks I get.
You can't zoom in.
Brandon, what are we doing? Louder, please.
Huh?
Louder, please.
Oh, thank you.
We don't have our mics on.
Yeah, so we are transferring the porter, which is a porter-guile, from the stout.
Porter-guile? We got a new style of beer called a porter-guile.
It was like
Party-guile.
I was thinking like water. Whatever that thing's
The
called.
porter, yeah, the porter-guile. Which
We
is
had porter
we're
on the
brewing
mind.
we're
Listen, we could have just let it go. So we're transferring that into the Robobrew where we will boil. That's about all I have.
shooting for, I guess, because with a partigyle'd, it's tough on brewing software to work that in. I'm sure there's a way, but we just don't know how to do it. So we're shooting for what, Mike? Like a 1065 pre-boil?
1065 pre-boil. Hopefully like a 10, 10, 10, 12 OG. Or I'm sorry, FG.
we did add 2 pounds of rye. Was it a pound or 2 pounds, Mike?
2 pounds.
We added 2 pounds of rye after we completed our mash on the stout. So this is actually like a rye porter, more like a rye porter.
Can't tell, it's very hot out. It is very hot out. It is very hot.
If I had a zoom feature, you might be able to. New lens.
No, you wouldn't be able to tell. Oh, you think it would be like heat lines?
I'd be zooming in on that fat nose.
Listen.
That thing's got sweat beads dripping off it like you read about. Don't lean over the kettle too far.
Hold on, let's just look. Nick's got a little belly line. His belly.
I ate a lot of
rubbed up-
queso.
No, your belly rubbed up against something. All right, we're just cooling down on the stout. We got Mike working hard on his mini vacation.
Mini vacation. I'm the one standing here stirring this. Where does Nick at? No one knows where Nick is. He's probably off having a beer, all by himself.
Yep. He supervises. He's the supervisor of Exit 12 Homebrew.
I don't think Brandon has the mic set up. I don't think he's got any of this set up right. We'll find out, I guess, when I go to edit, huh, buddy?
That's right.
Damn, and the thing's already like... You got it? This is for 10 gallons?
This is going to be a sparge, though.
Right. Time to mash in on the Octoberfest. What temp are we mashing in at?
154, right?
Is that the strike temp or is that the mash temp?
162 is the strike temp, so 154 should be the mash temp. If it's 152, then it's 152. Oh man, that looks awesome.
Yeah, it looks so good. We could be wrong, but it looks like the mash is a little bit thicker for the Octoberfest than it was for the stout. Which would be about par for the course for how the day's gone.
This is true.
Time to start the 60-minute clock on Brewfather.
All right, guys, we are finally transferring the porter stout. The stout. We are transferring the stout. It is very hot out.
Old transforming porter.
The transforming porter. That's the name of it. We're transferring the stout right now. And if you can look at the gravity, it is 0.20. You said?
Right around there. This table is a little, we'll have to take another reading.
Yeah.
We'll have to put it on an even circle.
Yep. So that's where we're at right now. We're starting the Octoberfest. That is all mashed in. And the Partigyle'd porter is just about to boil. Let's see if it's boiling now. A little walkabout town. So we're almost there. I think we're at like 208, it said. So, listen, we're getting there. It'll be there. It'll get there when they get there. You'll see it before I see it. All right, guys, we just got up to boil on the Partigyle'd porter. We are going to add at 60 minutes Cluster Fugget edition. Cluster Fugget, right? Cluster Fugget edition of 2 ounces? 1 ounce? 0.85 ounces. So let's throw that bad boy in and start this boil. Bang!
You know what I was thinking, Mike? This actually is rye.
Well, yes, it does.
I don't think I want to add it. It's got the rye in it.
Okay, 10 minutes left in the boil. Adding the Wolflock tablet, the yeast nutrient, and an ounce of Tetnang. Okay, it is flame out. We'll turn the element off. And add the last ounce of Tetnang right in there. And we'll get ready for cool down.
Beer 2 is done. The Partygyle Porter is ready to transfer. I'm going to transfer about half of it. And we're going to take a gravity sample. And then we'll transfer the second half. We are transferring in our brand new Torpedo 6-gallon keg that we retrofitted to be a fermentation device. Don't see very many 6-gallon kegs out there, so we were ready and willing to take advantage of that. So let's transfer.
Sitting at about 0.50, which is pretty solid for a porter. That'll put us probably right around the 4.5 to 5% range. So we're happy with that. Aren't we, Michael?
Yes, we are.
Them gone.
60-minute boil. Mike almost just burned himself on his own system. We're going in with an ounce of Cascade.
Put them Jones right in there.
Them Jones right in there.
Right in that water.
Right in the water.
In that water.
On the Octoberfest. You're seeing how the sausage is made. You're seeing how the sausage is made. After this, Brandon will show you a finished sausage.
No, Nick.
That's a Michael Scott joke from The Office.
It's from The Office.
So when?
I know, like you didn't get it from the first.
I was so excited to tell you that joke.
Holy moly. I've been recording this whole time, by the way.
That's all right. I'll save it.
Hold on. Wait a second. Seriously?
We have two different styles. All right. We're adding 1.75 ounces of Fuggles. I think it's 5 minutes left in the boil. Trying not to get Mike burnt.
Yeah, this is the way.
And adding,
not put any of that on camera. That's cool.
And we're also adding a full tablespoon of a new yeast nutrient Brandon and I purchased, as well as 2 Whirlflock tablets because it's a 10-gallon batch. Smell-o-vision. So for the Octoberfest, we were shooting for 1.051 for our pre-boil gravity. Ended up at 0.56. Kabbalah bang. Pumped about that. So we are staring down the barrel of a possibly 7% Octoberfest, which, I mean, we'll see how it finishes. But pre-boil being higher tells us that the Imperial Stout that we did, maxing out Mike's system, the lack in the downside in efficiency, the decrease in efficiency we got is likely due to the fact that we maxed out your system. I'm not sure it has anything to do with the grain mill or, yeah, the level, the distance between the rollers or anything like that. So Mike's Let's turn down the heat because we almost boiled over. But we're almost done. We're going to cool this thing down soon and transfer it into the fermenter. And then we're going to drink some beers by the fire and eat some great smoked food. Let's do it.
Yes, smoked food. Delicious. So we're going to transfer the Octoberfest into the fermenter. I'm going to take it home, bring it down to temperature, and pitch the yeast. Look at that color.
It's majestic. Social media maven. Social media maven.
This is it.
That's the guy. That's the guy behind the Instagrams. Great. All right, time to pitch the yeast. This is a starter that we worked on for the better part of 2 weeks. Started with a 5-liter, then went to a 4-liter, and then a third stage, another 5-liter starter. And it wasn't until the third stage that I decided to throw in a couple of drops of firm cap to control the foam. I don't know if that's really gonna help or hurt or do anything, but we'll find out with the fermentation. The tilt says we're sitting at 1.128. It's pretty much what we were close to, a little bit higher than what the hydrometer said. So either way, I am so pumped. The anniversary stout, the initial collab with Jack DeBoss Brewing out of Plymouth, Massachusetts, ended up being a 3-way collaboration this year with Jack DeBoss and with Mike TransAmGuy from Pennsylvania. So we're gonna pitch this starter into this Firmzilla. The stir bar is in there and I do not care. Look at all the chunkies. That's good. Come on. There we go. So we're not going to ferment the stout under pressure. And the reason for that is because we're going to transfer it to a barrel. We're going to throw coffee, we're going to transfer it to secondary, put coffee beans on it for 6 months, and then transfer it to a barrel for another 6 months. No need to pressurize this because the pressurized ferment is only going to create CO2. It's going to create its carbonation. We don't want that with this beer. We want it to be relatively flat. We pitch the yeast on the stout. We're going to be using Mangrove Jack's Belgian ale yeast for the Partygyle. Yep. Porter. We came in at about 0.51 on the porter. The tilt is reading 0.47, so not far off. Brandon would say, time to purge. Brew. Using the torpedo keg, 6 gallons. What's great about the porter, about a Partygyle when you're brewing a beer that is going to be upwards of 12% is you get a lot of sugar, residual sugar left over for the Partygyle part of this piece, which is the porter. We did add 2 pounds, as we mentioned, of rye malt, so we'll see how that affects the beer. And really, of the day, between the Imperial Stout, the Partygyle Porter, and the Octoberfest, Partygyle Porter is really the only true collaboration. Sure. The Octoberfest is Mike's, the Stout is ours, and so that's how things go. 10 hours of brewing with just me and this guy. No one else. Me and this guy.
We're gonna get demonetized. We're not gonna get monetized.
That's how we do it. So when you drink these beers eventually, for everyone in the club, just think about us two.
Brandon won't get any.
And that belly.